In a quiet backyard filled with bright flowers and soft morning light, a playful chase began. The cat crouched low, eyes locked on a tiny gray mouse nibbling a crumb near the bushes. With a gentle flick of its tail, the cat leapt forward. But the mouse was quicker, squeaking and darting between the leaves. Rustling bushes, flying dust, and laughter filled the air. The cat slid to a stop, paw covered in petals, while the mouse peeked out from behind a rock with a teasing grin. "Missed me!" he squeaked. The cat twitched its whiskers, grinned, and thought, "This game isn't over yet." The morning sun danced on the leaves as the cat crept through the thick green bushes, its paws silent on the soft soil. Somewhere ahead, the mouse's tiny giggle echoed. "Come out, little crumb thief," the cat purred softly. But before she could pounce, snap! Her paw got caught in a thorny branch. The mouse peeked from above, waving a blade of grass like a tiny victory flag. "Need some help?" he teased. The cat's fur bristled with mock anger, and she gave a playful hiss. Deep down, both of them were enjoying every second of their silly little adventure. Afternoon sunlight poured through the trees as the chase continued. The mouse darted across the grass, his tiny feet barely touching the ground. Behind him, the cat pounced again and again, tail swishing like a whip. "You'll never catch me!" squeaked the mouse, racing toward his secret hole at the base of an old tree. Thud! The cat's paw landed just a heartbeat too late. The mouse slipped into the hole, giggling from the shadows. The cat pressed her nose to the entrance and sniffed. "Next time, little one," she purred. The mouse chuckled softly, his heart racing with both fear and fun. The house was quiet, wrapped in silver moonlight. On the kitchen counter, the mouse tiptoed carefully, his eyes gleaming with mischief. "Just one piece of cheese," he whispered, reaching for a slice. But from behind the curtain, two glowing eyes watched. The cat's tail swayed slowly, ready to strike. Clink! A spoon fell. The mouse froze. Then chaos! The cat leapt, the mouse squeaked, and the cheese went flying. They dashed across pots and pans, their shadows dancing under the soft kitchen light. In that midnight chase, the house came alive with playful whispers and tiny thuds. The morning sun streamed through the window, shining on a battlefield of flour, milk, and crumbs. The cat, covered head to paw in white powder, slid across the kitchen floor with a determined meow. The mouse, clutching his cheese prize, zipped under the fridge just in time. Crash! A bowl shattered. Splatter! Milk flew across the tiles. The cat stopped, blinking through the mess, and let out a sneeze. "Achoo!" From under the fridge, the mouse giggled. "Nice try, Whiskers!" The cat sat down, tail flicking, trying not to smile. Deep inside, both knew they wouldn't trade this game for anything. As the golden sun began to set, painting the sky in orange and pink, the cat and mouse found themselves outside again. They were both tired, fur ruffled, paws dusty, but hearts light. The mouse sat on a rock, munching a berry. The cat stretched beside him, purring softly. For the first time all day, there was no running, no chasing, just peace. The mouse looked up shyly. "You're not so scary when you're not chasing me," he said. The cat smiled. "And you're not so bad when you're quiet." They both laughed, their laughter blending with the chirping of crickets. The next morning, the mouse discovered paradise, a pantry filled with grains, biscuits, and cheese. He jumped from shelf to shelf, nibbling joyfully. But behind the door, a shadow moved. The cat's golden eyes gleamed through the crack. "Found you," she whispered. The mouse froze mid-bite, a crumb still hanging from his whiskers. He squeaked and bolted across the floor. The cat lunged, missing him by an inch. Jars rattled, rice spilled, and both tumbled into a bag of flour. When the dust cleared, they looked at each other and burst out laughing. Their game had turned into a powdery mess. For once, the cat had the upper paw. The mouse had scampered onto the kitchen counter and straight into an empty glass jar. "Gotcha!" the cat purred, peeking in with a triumphant grin. The mouse crossed his arms, squeaking in protest. "That's not fair!" He banged the glass with his tiny fists, but the cat only chuckled. Then, achoo! The cat sneezed. The jar rolled off the counter, landing on a soft towel. It cracked open and the mouse tumbled out, free again. He waved cheekily from the doorway. "Better luck next time." The cat smiled, shaking her head. "Oh, you clever little thing." Raindrops pattered gently outside as the garden turned into a playground of puddles. The cat padded through the wet grass, sniffing the air. The mouse had vanished again. "Where could you be this time?" she muttered, peeking under flower pots. Inside an old boot by the porch, the mouse giggled quietly. A tiny sneeze gave him away. "Achee!" The cat turned just in time to see a twitching tail vanish deeper into the boot. She smiled softly, letting him win this round. "I'll find you later," she purred, curling under a bush as the rain fell like music around them both. By the fireplace's warm glow, the cat and mouse sat together for the first time without running, hiding, or chasing. The mouse held a crumb of cookie while the cat poured tea into a tiny cup. "Truce?" asked the mouse. The cat nodded, smiling. "Just for tonight." They talked and laughed, remembering every silly chase and every close call. Outside, the rain whispered softly on the roof. As they watched the fire crackle, they realized that their game had turned into something special: friendship. Tomorrow they might chase again, but tonight, peace and warmth filled the room.